topic in the meeting on Sunday. 5 years ago, at the first summit, I posed this question, and we'll pose it again today. Are local card stores a viable part of our industry's future? And if so, what can we all do to enhance their viability going forward? We'll start just kind of with a three-part question and pick what you want of it and see if we can get some answers. There was a feeling among the group, a strong feeling that while they really like and appreciate what some brake companies do, and frankly some of them are active breakers as well. Anybody, with a breakers TV account, PayPal address, and a webcam can be a breaker if they can find the product, right? So is it in our industry, the question would be, is it in our industry's best interest for that type of individual to be able to purchase cases of product at roughly the same price point as an LCS? Second question, would you consider a scenario where brick and mortar stores get the product, say, on a Friday, with everybody else, the online channel, the breaker channel, receiving it the Wednesday after, so a 5-day window, giving a core advantage to the LCS to be able to have that product first? What are your thoughts about a MAP program? Is that a good thing for the business? There was strong discussion about that type of concept being valuable to maintain an appropriate selling window for local card stores. So again, three questions. Pricing for the brake community, them having access at the same price point as a store. A release schedule that gives stores a head start, and then a MAP program. So just that. Who wants it?
I'll clearly take this. It's not a. I have about a 5-minute story I want to share. We've got two. Completely joking. I think we've addressed the case breaking pricing pretty clearly. What our stance is as a company. We're doing our research. As far as the pricing is concerned, we already have a map for they have to maintain the 20% above direct wholesale. That is their bottom line price. They need to include shipping on top of that additional charge. So if you're selling a slot, so for instance a box $100 and you have 10 slots, you have to sell that for $10 and then charge shipping, whatever. So they need to maintain that. We already have that policy in place for the case breaking, so it's pretty simple. And I think we'll partner again with those case breakers that are viable. We don't want to partner with those that aren't.
Can I ask you a follow-up question?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
You said so the MAP is 20% above, right?
Direct wholesale.
Okay. So if I'm a retail store and I'm competing with a breaker, do you think a 20% margin, given my overhead, is something that's sustainable for me?
I mean, it's a good question. I mean, I think it's where the pricing is in the marketplace right now. I mean, you can laugh about it if you want, but it's our business. I mean, I think we're very cognizant of the fact that we want everyone to be profitable and make money. I think the reason why we're doing our due diligence in the case breaking process is because we want to make certain, again, that we're partnering with the right people. I mean, we're not listen, there's only so much as a manufacturer can do when you sell it to A and they sell it to B and B sells it to C. We lose control when it gets to C. Legally, there's not much we can do. So those are the kind of things that I'm very concerned when someone ends up with our product that shouldn't. And those are the people that we want to crush and put out, quite frankly. And we're going to do that. We have done that. And again, I think the case breaking community, I think it's, again, if we addressed it, it's very viable. It grows our category, but it's got to be healthy. It's got to be long term. When you have 130 applications and 12 disappear within 6 months, that's the reason why we're backing off and making sure, hey, we want to have a program out there to embrace case breaking. But listen, the guys that are at our booth at the National, we've researched them. We know who they are. The guys that broke here, I know these guys. Did you watch the case break yesterday? Doug Caskey, is Doug in this room? I don't know if he's not or not. He's probably still at the tables, right? So Doug does a phenomenal job. I mean, I love the way the guy operates. Patch-tastic and all these things. It's exactly what we want. The way he handles himself on the camera, the way he handles himself to the customers, is exactly the people we want to partner with. So I watch a lot of YouTube videos and Breaker TV of guys that just make me want to vomit. So that's what I feel about case breaking. Brick and mortar business is the core of our business, bar none. We established a new Panini Roundtable program in October. It includes sneak peeks, and we're going to address that again in just a little while in our corporate address. But we have big plans for the Panini Roundtable program. That includes sneak peeks. In case you haven't known, we actually, with Gold Standard, we rolled out where the brick and mortar store has the product 5 days before everyone else. And we have another 6 planned throughout the year. So there's plenty of opportunities for you as a store to have product before anyone else gets it. And then we're in the support that we're throwing around here, and I'm not going to share everything with you because it's coming up pretty quickly, but you're going to see other things that we're doing for brick and mortar stores specifically that relates to product. So I'll let DJ address that in a few minutes. The MAT program pricing. It's funny, when we established our MAT pricing, DJ and I went back and forth, and we got a lot of feedback from different people. I mean, everyone has a varying opinion of what MAT should be. So we gathered those options, and we decided, hey, we have a MAT program in place, so we do monitor those things. I think we're doing some testing now with the group, and you guys should hear this. We're doing some testing with the group right now where if you sell our product below the internet retail pricing, there's a group that sends us an email that regulates the pricing on eBay. We can set up any store, we can set up any outlet, and what it does is sends us a quick email that this store dropped below our MAP pricing. We have a one-strike policy. We eliminate that. So there's a program, there's computer software, it's a spider type program that's completely legal, and actually as a manufacturer, we have the right to remove that eBay listing, no question asked. So if they drop below the pricing, we can remove them. And so we're doing the testing now. We're hopeful to roll out that program, but we're doing our due diligence, make sure the program is effective, that it works. We plan on regulating that in a very effective way.
Thanks, Tim. David?
Yeah, these are great questions, and I think the core of it is, what is the manufacturer's perspective of supporting the brick and mortar store? And that's something, we say every year that the brick and mortar store is our primary point of distribution for our hobby products. We say that because it's true. I mean, it is. It doesn't mean that other people aren't selling our products and products aren't moving through other channels and things like that. Obviously, we all know that, but we have that at the forefront. So that's why we have the longest running hobby store program in the industry. That's why we restructured it. That's why we're setting up, we have a meeting tomorrow morning with the best customers in the industry as far as brick and mortar stores go to help guide us in ways that we can help even further. But one of the different philosophies, I think, with Tops is that, and again, there are different models that work for different companies. That's why we have, 3 strong manufacturers up here, is that we all have a different model, we all have a different way to go to market, but we all want to accomplish the same type of things in general. And I think one of the things that we do differently at Tops, we don't focus on a MAP program. We don't have a lot of different authorizations in terms of different trade channels. We sell to brick and mortar stores, and we sell to hobby distributors as far as hobby product goes. It's that simple. And we want our stores to get the product on release date, of course. We do our best to do that. And we don't want anybody undermining that ability for the brick and mortar store to sell product, or anyone else to sell the product for that matter on the release date. So that's our general focus. We don't have anything in place as far as the first question in terms of breakers, giving them special pricing, or we allow them obviously to be competitive, but we allow our distribution network to manage that. And they know our objective is to sell Tops products to the brick and mortar primarily, and there are other trade channels obviously too that they sell to that we expect them to support and sell to so that our product can get wide distribution. As far as the brick and mortars getting product 5 days early or something like that, that's something I think we'll continue to look into. One of our philosophies is that we really rely on the market, the consumer, to tell us whether a product is good or not. And so our objective is, how can we get the product out where everybody can be competitive? Stores, we think, have a certain advantage because they have consumers coming into their stores, and they have the knowledge to convey and direct the consumer to this type of product or this type of product, and give them advice and give them guidance. It's harder to get that when you don't have a face-to-face interaction. So one of the advantages that is working, they can run promotions and things like that. We rely on them to be able to be competitive in the marketplace. We want that to happen. We want our products to be liquid, and we want the market to tell us how those products are received. And we get that feedback, and instantaneously that's impacting our ability to sell more or less product going forward. So by getting product early, really to any trade channel, what it does compromise is that the ability for everybody to see the product at a certain time, everybody to go out there and compete. But if there was an area where we were looking at that closely, it's definitely around the brick and mortar store, having that advantage, having that knowledge to impact the consumer most directly. And then as far as the map pricing goes, whether it's good or bad, I'm not here to judge whether it's good or bad. For tops, historically, we evaluate this constantly. We lean not toward having map pricing. We focus, number one, on creating a quality product, number two, on responsible print run. And historically, if we do those two things well, and then sell to those two trade channels that I mentioned, we get a great response on our product, or we get a bad response on our product, and that determines what we do from that moment forward. And we're not doing that to say we want to put anybody in a difficult position, or we want to put anybody in a better than position versus somebody else. We do that so the product can be broken on the release date, where if you're going to get the majority of product broken ever on the release date, and if we're inhibiting that anyway, it does jeopardize our ability to sell through that product and to be able to put it in a situation to move to the next product. And so while it's a little different strategy than the other manufacturers, it's not intended to hurt our best customers. It's intended to allow us to build better products from that moment on and continue to allow us to have cycles that are consistent to be able to grow our business.